2 weeks ago, we had riots incited by the far right on our streets. Now you have migrants in our city who are afraid to go out for fear that they will be targeted by the far right. What's been the response of the Rural Independent Group? During the original debate and then during the debate yesterday, all of them were at pains to emphasise that the riots that took place were nothing to do with the far right, whitewashing the role of the far right. That's what we had. Yep. And now we have, opportunistically, disgustingly, an attempt to use the riots to press forward the idea that immigration, asylum seekers are a problem in our society, using the language of the far right, talking about unvetted single males and blaming them for the housing crisis. It's really disgusting stuff from the deputies. And the deputies like to cover this all up by saying, we just want a reasonable debate about immigration. Can we not have a reasonable debate? Yeah, we can have a reasonable debate. I'll give you my answer to your reasonable debate. Immigration is not a problem. Immigration is not responsible for the housing crisis, contrary to what is in this motion. We had a historic housing crisis before Putin invaded Ukraine, before the increase in the number of asylum seekers. Immigration is not responsible for the healthcare crisis in this country. In fact, without immigration, the healthcare crisis would get a lot worse. Immigration is not responsible for crime. There is no evidence to link immigration or asylum seeking to any increase in crime. So why then do we have people in the Dáil and outside the Dáil and in the Seanad who are spreading misinformation, spreading untruths and trying to blame immigrants, asylum seekers in particular, for things that they are not responsible for? Whose interests does that serve? And I think it serves the interests of those who are actually responsible for the crises that we have in our society, to distract from their responsibility and to divide ordinary people, to have ordinary people not looking up at the rich and powerful in our society and the government that represents them, who are responsible for all the crises people face, instead looking down, looking at other vulnerable people coming from other countries. Take the example of the housing crisis referenced in the motion. Who is responsible for the housing crisis? I tell you, the class of landlords, developers and speculators represented by Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael are responsible. They're putting of profits first, and we have amongst the deputies the biggest landlord in the Dáil, Michael Healy-Rae.
Please. Excuse me, sir, Deputy.
I go on. Danny Healy-Rae, with his plant hire business, making hundreds of thousands of euros from Kerry County Council. Making money from Tipperary County Council. These are the people. Corrupt politicians like Michael Lowry happy to target. Who you represent
for 5 minutes. Are we going to resume with decorum? Please.